Well, it had to come down at some point, but at least it's still good. Good and bad. Thunderball is directed by Terrence Young in his final time directing a James Bond movie, as he directed Dr. No, From Russia with Love, skipped Goldfinger, and did this one. It stars Sean Connery, Claudine Auger, and Adolfo Seeley. I believe is how you pronounce his name. I may be wrong. I'm probably wrong. And just right off the back, I have to say we are finally back with Spectre. In the last film, we focused solely on just a random villain and didn't have the evil organization looming over our heads. This movie gives a lot of Spectre, and which I like because I was interested when Dr. No dropped their name in the first movie, and I was interested when I saw their organization and how it was operating From Russia with Love, and I was mostly interested in when all those scenes, but most of the scenes where Spectre was like operating, I was pretty interested in it as a group, and the Blofeld was on the screen and stuff. So, but yeah, we get a lot of Spectre in this movie, as this movie opens with an extremely silly mission in which Bond fights a Spectre operative who is dressed in drag, which thankfully was not offensive. I was very worried when I saw that he was in drag, but Bond makes one reference to like, if you were a woman, you wouldn't have opened the door by yourself, which is like usually like chivalrous men open doors for women. That's it. And then he kills him, but he didn't kill him because he was dressed in drag or anything. He killed him because he was working for Spectre and wanted him dead. So thankfully it didn't get offensive with that. I was actually really worried that it would, but it did not. And then after he's done, he puts on a jetpack and flies off. It's extremely weird and pretty fun. And with that, we go into the title sequence, and we get Tom Jones's amazing song, Thunderball, and a very memorable title sequence, which directly relates to the movie, being water. Lots of water in this movie. A lot of water in Thunderball. We then go to what early Bond is sadly remembered for, as he casually rapes a woman. Now, it's not like he pins her down and stuff. That would have been very awful. Basically, he just blackmails her, which blackmail is not consensual, so it's still rape, and it's very uncomfortable to watch. It happens a little too much in early Bond, and just Bond in general. It's bad. It's bad. But let's get away from that grossness. Let's talk about our main villain, Emilio Largo, who is sadly incredibly mediocre, which is sad, as he is a Spectre agent, and they are always fun to watch. In the last two movies, some of the most memorable villains so far. So, you're kind of hoping, well, they're only going up, just like the quality of the movies, but no, they both go down, which is a bummer. Water technology. It was quite a revolution at the time. So this movie takes place pretty much mostly underwater, and sadly the action isn't as fun for it, and the movie goes incredibly slow, bringing this one to be over 2 hours, the first Bond movie to be over 2 hours. It's also just really confusing and dizzying because the lighting's not that well and they edited it together poorly, and the camera's constantly moving and stuff. And you can't always tell who's fighting who and stuff. It isn't fun to watch, and I was kind of starting to drift off mainly whenever there was an underwater action sequence, which is upsetting because I was hoping those would be really cool and fun to watch, but nope, they were not. Domino, who is the Bond girl of this film, is a classic and really fun to watch. She also has more character and does a lot more than some of the other Bond girls this franchise has to offer. She does a lot for this movie. it has a lot more character and relationship with Bond in this one, which makes her so much interesting, which makes her very interesting and makes her very much fun to watch. Definitely the strongest part coming out of like the villain side, because technically, like all Bond girls, well, most Bond girls, she's directly related to the villain. Uh, she the pacing, not just underwater, but whenever it's out of water, is too slow. It moves at a snail's pace, and this movie could have been way shorter, and probably would have been. That would have been for the better if it was shorter. Uh, I will say the climax is ambitious and insane, and almost works, but again, has a problem of going on too long. That's mainly my biggest problem with the movie. Everything they do goes on too long, which that could have been fixed. Just everything could have been shorter and stuff, but no, like some things I was happy with their length of, but others I was just like, okay, we can speed this up at this point. Yeah. Overall, it's still a good movie, just quite a downgrade compared to the first three movies in this franchise. I'm going to give Thunderball a 70 underwater sequences out of 100. Have you seen Thunderball? If so, tell me what you thought in the comments below. Did you like it more than I do? Did you dislike it? Have you not even seen it? So far, I recommend all the James Bond movies. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. This is Jordan from Jordan Reviews. Signing off.